Welcome to Create the Edge. In this episode, it's our pleasure to bring you two of our most favorite and esteemed individuals in our network who have actually transformed, changed, disrupted themselves, and rebuilt all over again, ground up from scratch. I'm going to hand it over to Yusuf to introduce these two ladies that you are now seeing on the screen.
Thank you so much, Joy, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome to our Stay on the Edge guest speaker series at Create the Edge, Andrada Anitei from Bucharest, Romania, and Rahila Khan from Durban, South Africa. I'm sure they don't need any introduction, but Andrada, she's a champion in flavored writing, an amazing content creator, author, and editor. And Rahila, she's a perfect advocate in the leadership of love and an accredited journey practitioner. Thank you so much, Andrada and Rahila, for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you for having us, Yusuf. Thank you. Great introduction. It's a huge honor.
It's our honor. Thank you so much, Andrada. So just without further ado, I'm going to actually sort of ask you the question that we would like to get a bit more of your insights on, Andrada. So we have all heard that, writing things down is a first step to bringing an idea to life. What advice would you give a busy executive who literally has no time for the arts, so to speak, but has been struggling with getting their actions to follow through with their vision and purpose? How can putting pen to paper help someone create the edge?
That's a really interesting question because actually I believe that even the busiest people need time to recharge. And I know that everyone uses their replenishing time in different manners. However, my suggestion would be that I want to first off start with the fact that before anything else, we are all humans. And we need to admit that even in business. So if we cannot admit that in business, then I think we need to reconsider in a sense. But my advice my suggestion would be to start writing your own thoughts, the one that you wouldn't share with anyone else. Because if you do that, even if you're a busy executive and you do that, I don't know, in your ride in the subway or in a coffee break or lunch break, you clear some clutter off your mind and you make room of what's most important for you in that very moment. And that will have a direct impact on your business because you will be able to focus on your vision, and consequently your mission will gain a different perspective, and you will be able to apply your principles from different angles. So that's in short what I would like to advise a busy executive. But I want to also add the fact that the more they write, the more they become aware of their own selves. And when they do that, there will be a huge increase in their business charts, so to speak, because again, being able to focus on what's important will definitely make a huge impact on the choices that they make in regards to their business.
I think very, very nicely said, Andrada, because I think focusing and realizing someone's true potential can only come through introspection. And that's where I think, vocalizing your thoughts into actions of words is so important. So very, very beautifully put. Very, very beautifully put, Andrada.
Very beautiful.
I think you've said it perfectly. So and it goes on brilliantly into my next question to Rahila. Rahila, I mean, most people are drowning in this ever competitive rat race towards success, and literally hardly have any time to just sit down and undergo introspection, as we were just discussing. Please share with us how important it is to have a one-on-one discussion with what our soul really wants, and the process of getting the heart and the mind to translate it into reality for them so that they can create the edge.
Hi, Yusuf, and hi, Joy. Thank you so much for this chat over coffee this morning.
It's our
Such an
pleasure.
honor and privilege. Warm greetings to everyone from warm, sunny South Africa. What a brilliant question. I'd like to begin with saying that, educating the mind without educating, the soul and the mind, body, and soul, if I may say that, is no
Mhm.
education at all. So, in the 21st century, we are all learning to operate from the heart center. And that is very, very important. Your question is of paramount importance in that, this is what I teach 24/7, in that we must take time out. We've been so programmed to believing that success is financial success or acquiring of materialism. And so often in doing that, we forget ourselves. We are like a hamster on a treadmill and we keep going. And what I'd like to share with you and those who will be watching this interview is to always take time out. First thing in the morning or even in the evening, before we go to bed, take a few minutes just to reflect on the day or the
Mhm.
next. And when you reflect and introspect, we begin to see what we have accomplished on our daily task list. And sometimes, we always judge ourselves. The mind knows three things: to criticize, judge, and instill doubt. And we become slaves to the mind and we start believing the story the mind is telling us in what we didn't do right, instead of focusing on what we did right.
Mhm.
So it's to make a list in the time of introspection and self-reflection and self-investigation is to investigate all the things that I did right and thank yourself and love yourself. That is where leadership of love begins. It begins from within us. Our inner GPS, which we may call soul, will guide you there because you're being present to every thought that's arising in your mind, followed by that negative emotion that's coming out of the thought. And how often we build a negative story around it. So our GPS is the inner human computer hard drive, which is the projector that we project our silly story of how bad we are. Instead of changing that and saying, okay, yesterday was a difficult day. Yesterday I didn't get X, Y, and Z right. Today I'm going to change to A, B, and C. So from a place of suffering and struggle, I'm going to change the thought and say, today I'm going to do my best. Today I am going to tell myself some positive things. I love who I am. I am a genius and I apply my wisdom in every aspect of my life. In just saying that, Yusuf and Joy and the audience out there, you are creating new neural pathways in your brain by just embedding a positive command that you're giving your brain. And do you know what happens? Magic happens
Yep.
because your entire biochemistry changes. Because a negative emotion is a negative charge that happens in your body. So we
Mhm.
want to now change that with a positive thought, which now the result will be a positive feeling. You come into a state of being, and the state of being is, yes, I can do it. Whatever my mind can conceive, yes, I can do it. And that is the starting point. And therefore, your question today, and you know what? I commend you guys for bringing in emotional and spiritual intelligence, for bringing in leadership of love in business. So often we get it backwards in that we want to go into business and families and transform adults who already learned all the wrong behaviors. I
Yes.
believe I believe educating the heart and soul begins in the mother's womb. That's where leadership of love begins. And as a woman, I know that. And thank you for giving me this opportunity of sharing that, and with such an amazing guest as Andrada, because in tandem, that is what we are teaching through her book series as well, is leadership of love in learning from other people's mistakes, from the characters in the book. We are all characters anyway. We all
Yep.
are playing, we all take center stage, as Shakespeare said. So we love our stories, we love our dramas. However, let's create new, beautiful stories. And that comes from self reflection. from introspection and creating new movies which are of positive intent. So positive intention and purpose is what we all need as human beings. And my message is the greatest human need is love. And when we can introspect and love ourselves, that's a winning recipe for all of humanity, is how to come from a place of our inner GPS teaching us empathy, compassion, unconditional love. So whatever comes, and as you know, the universe does a balancing act of day and night. We cannot appreciate day without experiencing night. So we each have our dark shadow side, which I may call night, but we can only appreciate the sun in us as we can appreciate the darkness in the night. So it's about getting the balance. It's about coming out of the duality in being human and embracing both to get the balance right. And that comes with your beautiful question. And that is the new success. What is the new success in creating the edge? The new success is inner peace, freedom, love, happiness. That must be our national growth product on the planet.
Amen to
Thank
that.
you so much.
Amen to that. I mean, perfectly put. Perfectly put. I mean, you've just left me at a loss of words, and I generally am not at a loss of words, Rahila. So beautifully said, and it's just the emotions that you brought out. You know, our minds, unfortunately, as you've rightly said, can be our biggest naysayers, and that's where I say it very often in some of my comments on LinkedIn as well. You know, you should just look your naysayer in the eye, and basically just think in your mind, the back of in your heart rather. Yes, I can, and just move forward with a hard hat on and powering through by just saying to yourself, "Watch me." So, perfectly said, perfectly put, both Andrada and Rahila. And I'm going to hand it over to Joy for our next part of the segment, where we try and get to know a little bit more regarding who you are as a person.
Thank you so much, Yusuf. Just before I get into that segment, I still have to say that I'll use the word mesmerized, Rahila. You have echoed, literally without in-depth discussion from Yusuf and I, you've echoed the very intent with which we've create the edge. It's a reflection of how we want to work and we want to do business, inner purpose, peace, happiness, and the biggest of all is love. I've just done a post earlier today about the advisory or the consulting side we do. And there's a picture in that post where we actually took out what's in the core is people. And though we say people with strategy and innovation, there's a layer below that. And that layer is exactly this: have a relationship at work and a relationship which is a love affair. And unfortunately, these terms have got so convoluted, or it's gotten so much of negative impact throughout the years that if you say have a love affair at work, it means you're actually having an office extramarital affair. It's not that. It's an employee who has a responsibility and accountability with the organization, and the organization is a brand. I digress, but just to share, I wanted to put that out. Beautiful. I'm touched, seriously. This segment, moving on, it's the lighthearted segment where basically who's the person behind the persona. Rahila, you, Andrada, yourself, both of you now have extremely strong personal brands. There is a persona going out there, especially on our social media. We'd really be delighted if you could share one thing that the LinkedIn family and us, we don't know about you, and you're happy to share that with us. So either of you, ladies, take it away.
Okay, I'll go first. I love this. I love what you just said. I love this love affair we're having right now. And you know what? Behind LinkedIn, behind social media, this is who I am. I'm having this love affair with life itself. That's one, right? The other that people don't know about me is that I'm an interior designer, that I'm an artist as well. I love working with beads and sequins and doing wall hangings and cushions. And I also love fashion. I love designing clothes and, spending lots of time in a retail outlet buying fabric and trimmings and matching and having all these ideas in my mind of how I can match everything and create something fantastic to wear or to display. So yeah, that's who I am behind the scenes, and I just love it. That's my other love affair. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rahila. That is an insight. The fact that interior design coupled with soul leadership, awesome. Love that. Andrada, all yours.
Yeah, most probably one thing that people don't know about me is the fact that I have 2 signs of independence that I use. Well, actually are mostly for my mindset, but I display them all the time. And one is my nose pierce, and the other one is a small bracelet with a golden sparrow, which I bought the day I turned 30. And that was actually one very important turning point in my life, because it was the precise day when I started acknowledging my thoughts, the nature of my thoughts and the nature of my desires. And I still wear it after 4 years. So I never took it off.
Excellent.
That's beautiful. So thank you so much once again, Andrada and Rahila. It's been an absolute pleasure having you both as our guest speakers. And we hope that we will be able to have further interactions with you moving forward. And honestly, LinkedIn family, you need to connect with Andrada and Rahila if you're not yet connected to them.
Absolutely.
So thank you once again, and have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you so much.
You too, you too, Joy. Thank you so much once again.
Pleasure.
Lots of love.
Bye.